Hello and welcome to Two Whole People.
Well, welcome.
I'm Connor, your co-host.
And I'm Kevin.
Phenomenal. In this episode of Two Whole People, Kevin is going to give me an interview of sorts and kind of talk me through. You take it because it's your interview, Kevin.
Hello, here, and I'm reporting with Two Whole People News Network. We're going to be interviewing Connor today to see what it's like to have a day in his shoes and walk a mile in his job.
Can I walk out of this interview? Can I just turn on the mic and leave? Or do I have to stay because this is also my channel?
You definitely have to stay. Good. Because the interview is of you. Otherwise, it would just be me sitting here.
All right. Why should they care about what we're talking about? Because I'm a data engineer. I've been so for 4 years. Have a data science master's. Have a computer science bachelor's from GCU where I met Kevin here. Been in the software world for a total probably 8 years, I think, but for the both of us.
Yeah.
And you are. Tech are you?
I'm a guy. Well, I'm a software engineer first of all, web developer. But also I run our data portion of our business, so I do all the data engineering, data science, a little baby bit.
And you got some people who work for you.
I do have a couple of data analysts. They're all right. I'm just kidding, guys.
Yeah. A portion of the total view count is for sure the people that you are forcing to watch this out work for you. So
yes, it's on their daily task list.
It's just a link. It's like go and watch this 10 times. Write a script that just
watches it. Perfect.
Yeah,
no, we're definitely just kidding about that. But yeah, so today we're going to interview Connor, and we're going to talk about his day as a data engineer, and how much fun it is to be a data engineer. Okay, so why don't you just start by telling us what happens after you wake up? What do you do? Right
as soon as I wake up?
Yeah, like you wake up.
I wake up at 5:45 if my alarm goes off. 5:30 if the dog is whining at that point, because she's kind of used to getting up at that time anyway, so she'll kind of whine beforehand. Anyway, I'll get up. It's not important at all. I'll get up. I'll let the dog out. I'll feed the dog. I'll get dressed in something like this. I'll go to the gym. I'll work out. I'll bike, and then I'll do some weights. I'll bike for 10 to 15 minutes as my cardio to kind of wake up and get the blood pumping, and then I'll lift weights. And on the way back, I'll make coffee and a protein powder shake kind of mixture thing, and then I'll eat eggs, a bagel.
Eggs and a bagel?
Yeah.
And a protein shake?
Eggs with cheese and a bagel and a protein shake is what I eat almost every day. I might throw some fruit or something in there. I've been eating a lot of raw spinach lately. It's just been in the fridge and I've just been munching on it.
Why? What are you, a cow?
It is kind of strange, but I don't know, it tastes good. Anyway. And then I'll get to work at around, I'll log in at like 7:45-ish.
And you work from home, correct?
I work from home.
He does work from home.
Confirmed. I work from home. Yeah, so I got a standing desk that goes up and down. I rarely stand though, so it's just kind of a waste.
So wait.
Well,
for your standing desk, is it like super low? For those of you who can't tell, Connor is insanely tall.
I am. I'm 6'8", but the main reason why I got the standing desk that can like raise and lower is so that I could sit in it, but it's a desk that's a little bit higher than desks are normally, so that my knees can fit under it. So I really got it so that I could just go up a little bit more so that I could sit at it normal. But yeah, so then I get to work. I have a stand up in the morning about a half hour after I log on. But I'll sit down, I'll eat my breakfast, I'll watch some news, and then I'll jump in. I'll look at we have a Kanban board for work. I'll check what I was doing the previous day. I'll kind of go through any notes that I had that I made at the end of the previous day, and I'll go, okay, here's where I need to start, and then I'll start working, and then join the stand-up. Talk to them, talk through what I'll be doing that day, hear what like everyone else will be doing, make sure we're not doing the same work as someone else on the call, and then I'll start my day and I'll start coding.
So like on your stand-up, for those of us who are socially anxious, so anybody who's trying to get software engineering job and is like, I have to talk to somebody
Probably
every day.
like 90% of people are trying to get software jobs.
Can you tell us what your stand-up is like, or like how long it lasts and how much you have to talk? And what do you say when you talk?
So I've been in a couple of different ones over, the course of my career at different jobs that are, we're all kind of different there. Some are just like a very specific chunk of your team, like the data engineering team. And then I was at a larger company where that team was too large to have in like one call every morning. It would be like an hour because it would just take too long. So they split that up into like risk, servicing, retail. So like the DE team itself was split up into multiple micro teams, and then they would each have a project manager, a project lead, and then all the devs, and then they would have a stand up with like 4 or 5 people or something. And those types of calls are normally very quick. They get done in like 15 to 20 minutes, and that's the goal, is to get those done kind of as fast as possible. Just what are you doing, or what did you work on yesterday? What did you get done? What can we move on our board, across into test or prod or done or whatever? And then what do you plan to work on today? And then kind of the main reason why you do that is so that you're all on the same page. If your project manager goes, actually, I've been talking to a couple other people in the business and the priority has changed, so we need you to jump into this other task. Then that'll happen on that call. Or if you have any questions for someone else on the team who has worked in the space that you're currently working, then on that call you go, and I'm doing this, and then, hey, can I grab a couple minutes with you to talk through what you did on this the last time that you were working on this body of code? It's just for the team to get all synced up, but it should be kind of very fast, and then you're back into your job. But like I talk for a total of a minute and a half maybe, and then I'm done. So it's just a quick little, this is what I'm doing, vomit, and then you're done.
Yep. So for all of you guys who want to be software engineers, you could probably expect this on pretty much any job you get.
Yeah. And like, even if you're terrified of something like that because you hate talking to people, you do that for a couple months, and then it's you don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So after your stand-up, what happens next?
So I don't. There are some days where I have a lot of meetings, but most days I don't, and I just get into dev work. So like last week I was working on in the BI space that we have for work. I was working on parsing a bunch of XML payloads that we have into our data warehouse. So parsing them into a relational schema, and then dropping those rows into a data warehouse tables that we have. So after the stand up, it's just, and for a task like that, I can kind of put on some music or something.
Or a podcast such as this.
Yeah, or a podcast if it's like a really brainless thing that you don't have to think that hard about it. But if it's like a thing where I'm trying to figure out what the methodology is that I need to do to fix a certain problem, then I won't have any music or podcast on or anything like that, because I need to focus. But if it's okay, I know exactly, like I've been doing this for a few days, I know what's going on, then I'll put on something in the background, just so I don't get extremely bored. So that's what I've been working on the past few days. It's nothing really glamorous. It's just parsing through the payload one low level at a time, finding out what the objects are, thinking through what the schema should be of the relational tables, making those, and then just creating the proc. I'm writing it in a SQL code in Snowflake, which is a software as a service, data warehousing, BI environment, which is becoming more and more popular now. I don't know if any of you who are watching this have used Snowflake at all. If so, comment, and then we can become good friends or something. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing is I've just been writing a lot of SQL code to parse all that in.
Very nice. Very nice.
And boring, but hey, it's a software job.
XML is the worst. I hate XML.
I do wish it was JSON, but it's not. It is XML. It's a credit pull payload, so it's without. I don't know how much. I think I can talk it. It's an Experian credit pull for so that we can pull the credit to determine if we can give people a loan or not.
Oof.
And the way it comes back, the payload comes back as an XML. So there are some parts that are actually JSON, which is nice, but there are other parts that are not. So you got to parse those in. So analytics and data science and dashboarding and reporting downstream of what I'm doing can all use the tables that I'm parsing out for their data analysis stuff. Yeah. So I have to make sure that I'm being very careful and that I don't parse any of the key value pairs in wrong or anything like that. That the names of the columns are doing are very descriptive and that they make sense, but yeah, right now, that's if I don't have a lot of meetings, that's my day. Is I put on some music and I'll parse through stuff. But that's only one of a lot of different projects that I've been going through in the last few months. I've been a data engineer and kind of a BI dev, kind of a mixed role for the past year. So I've been doing all sorts of stuff.
Very nice.
Yeah. Nice.
So like, as far as, in a day where you do have a lot of meetings, like who's usually on those meetings? Like what kind of mix of people is it? And is it difficult or is it like,
It depends on the meeting. So on the days where I have a lot of meetings, I feel like I'm kind of wasting my time, although I'm not, but it's just when I'm not coding, when I'm not pulling stories across the board, it feels like, what am I doing in my life? I feel like I'm wasting time here, but most of the meetings I've had within the past year, so I'm working at a startup type place, and so a lot of those meetings are very necessary because we're talking to the business, I'm talking to my project lead, I'm talking to other teams who need to use the data that the DEs are trying to gather up and architect out. So a lot of the meetings I've been in have been within the DE team has been to design what the schema for the databases are going to be for the OLTP environment, and then for more of the BI data warehousing environment. So just trying to set up what the tables and the relations are and all of the database objects are for the databases that we need to set up in the back end for all the data that we need to store. And then along with that, it's okay, well, we're making this for the first time. So I need to talk to the data science team. I need to talk to the analytics team. I need to talk to a bunch of different teams who are going to be using the data that we're going to store for all of their work. So I need to work very closely with them so that they know exactly where to go to get certain data concepts and certain things like that. And then of course, working very, very closely with the business to figure out, does this make sense? Are we building it out the proper way, or does this concept with the relations that we have, does it just make no sense at all with what we are actually doing as a business? And because it needs to map perfectly onto what the business operations are, so that it's useful at all.
Yep.
So talking with the business a lot, but and there are times where I have to give a presentation. There are times where where I have to like mock it up, what the schema should be, and I have to present that to various people. Or there are times where I'm in a lot of meetings where I'm just in the back and I never talk and I'm just there to listen, and so I'm like on the same page. And if I hear something or I'm like, hold on, I don't know if that's right, then I can kind of pipe up and talk. But
yeah,
I'm in quite a bit of calls where I'm just supposed to be there so that I'm on the same page, but I'm not giving the presentation talking, or anything. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's much fun.
Very nice. Okay, so what time do you usually stop work? So like you get there at, like you said, 7:45, start work. What time do you usually, you're like, all right, clock out, I'm done?
5 is
5?
yeah, that's the magic number normally is 5 o'clock. My project lead and my managers are really, really, really good at saying like, don't work late, and if they're like, just, you're done at 5, that's it. We're all done at 5. Make sure to balance your work in your life and make sure to have your own life and to take some time off in the afternoons. But there are times where, because we're, especially the last few weeks where we've gone live for like the first time. So there's actual customers that are using our platform, and it's for the first time, and there's bugs that we've never seen before that are popping up. And it's like, if there's a day where you can get off at 5 and go and do your own thing, then definitely do that, because there are going to be days where we're going to need you on at like 10 at night. Yeah. Trying to fix a bug that is stopping, a sale from going through. So, we're trying to balance that. There hasn't been a ton of that, but for the most part, it's 5 and I'm done. And then I get to take a break.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned kind of working at night. So you guys run the on-call system, correct? I know that you do because...
I'm on one of the on-call rotations. There's a couple at the place where I work, but I'm on one of them, yeah.
Yeah. So can you explain to our lovely viewers how that works and how much fun it is, how great it is for you?
It's definitely, I love my job. It's definitely at the top of the list for things that I would change or that I hate, but that I can't. But it's like, it's definitely at the top of things that I don't like about my job, even though everything else is fantastic. I love it. And it's only because I've had a couple of bad experiences. Well, anyway, the on-call rotation is, the production environment is going to run all night. Some companies have a knock for stuff like this. I think it's called a knock, where like they hire people to be up at night to fix things if they break. But at my company, we don't do that. We, at least as far as I can tell, we just have an on-call rotation, which means all the DE devs are in a rotation, and once every and it's the same thing with all the BI devs, and once every few weeks, I think it's every three weeks now, as we hire more people, the frequency that we have to be on call goes down because the rotation grows. But every few weeks, we have to be the ones that if we get paged, if there's a process that breaks, and it's mainly there's a couple processes for my role. There's an on-call rotation for a couple a chain of processes that run every night that do a lot of the data transformations and stuff that we need to have prepped and ready to go out the next morning to other people that work at the company so that they can do their job. And this chain of processes, if it ever breaks, then it's going to send out a page to the person that's on call for that night, and that person has to get up. If it's 12 a.m. or 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. they have to get up and fix the issue, tired as heck.
Yep.
Or page a person. If they can't fix the issue inside of a certain amount of time, then they have to page the person who recently worked on the procedure or the thing that broke. And I've had a couple of experiences. The reason why it's the worst thing is because there was one time where the rotation for some reason was it was like once every week and a half for like a couple months, and I had like 3 in a row where I was up the whole night. Ooh. And I got really sick at the end of that because I just didn't sleep, like up all night, and apparently I need sleep, but I got super sick at the end of that kind of sprint there where, and I would like check the paging logs and be like, who was the last person that was paged? And it was like the last person that was paged was me last time I was on call. I was like, it's just terrible luck. It's just awful luck that I'm just keep getting wrecked. It's like an all-nighter, and then like the rest of the nights are fine, and then it's me again, and then it's an all-nighter again. And that was the same time where I got my dog, and she was a puppy, and so I was also having to get up at night to take her out to use the bathroom every couple of hours. And I was like, I got like fever, like a psychedelic sick, where I was like in a different world, and I was like asleep for 24 hours, and that seemed to fix me up, but it was not fun. But yeah, so that's the on-call. dream. It's great.
For all you future data engineers, you can look forward to that.
Yeah, and if you work at a company that's, because there are ways to get around that where you can make your processes that have to run at night run in a very, very, very short time frame, so that you only have to be on call for like a couple hours or something.
Yeah.
But it all depends on where, because there's the reason why like our stuff has to wait until the dead of night is we reach out to certain third parties that can that have to be reached out to at certain times, certain banks, and we have to wait for them to get back to us. So it's we have to have the process that we have, and I get that. And this isn't all software jobs, for sure not all software jobs. It's definitely not all data engineering jobs or BI jobs, but some of them are you'll join, you'll have all of your normal responsibilities, and then you're gonna have to join an on-call rotation of some sort where it could be once every 2 months, it could be once a week, depending on the job. You're gonna have to be on call, and if you get paged, and my I don't have a pager, but we call it a page, but it comes through in the form of a text. So if you get texted or called, I don't know if anyone has pagers anymore, but then you got to get up. That's true. Yeah, that's the only other job that I can think of where you are on call, and it's not on call in the same way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of other jobs where you have an on-call rotation, but my job is just as important as being a doctor. So.
That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. I have to be on call, dog.
Yeah.
It sucks. That's like 22 minutes. We should maybe...
Yeah.
Time for me to walk out of this interview.
Looks like we're done.
You'll be talking to my publicist.
Your publicist?
Is that right? I don't know. I don't know if that's right.
Producer?
Be talking to my agent. He'll never set this up again with you. I'm just kidding.
I'm your agent.
I am the manager. Anyway, if you like this video, we didn't say this at the end of the last video. If you like this video, comment, like, and subscribe. If you want to, you don't have to.
For more content.
Dislike if you hated it.
Yeah.
And comment vitriolic things if you really hated it. Tell us how we're doing a terrible job and how we can do better. Specifically, Kevin here. Just roast him over the fires of the trolls of the internet.
I love it.
All right. Until next time.
And scene.